You feel this nervousness on the phone there?
Sir, I've been trying to make an urgent phone call up there.
Well, I don't think it's something I want to do on an overseas phone.
You gotta make some phone calls. Hang up the phone. Prank caller. Prank caller.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome once again to Packernet After Dark. This is the call-in show of the Packernet Podcast Network. If you'd like to call in, if you'd like to participate in the show, please feel free to do so. The phone number here is 608-501-0718. New callers go directly to the front of the line. We don't have any new callers, so let's just get started with Daniel from California.
The whole Josh Jacobs thing, like everybody's like freaking out and they're like, oh, we need to trade for Algier, we need to trade for James Conner, Braylon Allen, whatever the other the second guy or third guy for the Jets is. But my personal take about the whole situation is I don't think there's going to be some sort of long suspension because of where it's happening and the legal process. I think that they're going to basically string it out, and then if there is a suspension, it's going to be for next year. Either way, even if there was a suspension, jail time that conflicted with the NFL schedule, and we didn't have Josh Jacobs for a certain amount of time, I know it doesn't sound very good, but I don't want to trade for anybody. Yeah, sign somebody that sucks. I'm okay with it. But the thing I really just want is I want to put the ball in Jordan's hands. And yeah, they might go wild with the coverage and just make it to where it's a lot of too high and cover four and just really just, make him dink and dunk and just try to, make it very hard to move the ball down the field. But I think he's good enough to have it not be an issue. I know we want balance in everything we do, but the thing that I want is to embrace him as the core centerpiece of the offense. And we do have a good balance going on, but I just want it to be everything about Jordan because he's the highlight of this offense. We have great pieces around him. We can manufacture parts of a run game. We have Savion who can do some of the jet sweep stuff, and you can have him motion, show up an empty, motion him in the backfield on like a 4 wide receiver plus Tucker Kraft, in line or in the slot. And you can motion Savion to do stuff and simulate stuff like that. I just really don't think we need to go crazy and start getting rid of draft picks to patch up a running back spot when really the guy who has the ability, if you feature him to be an MVP, is Jordan, and that's what I want to see. Go Pack, go.
Yeah, I get what you mean. I think ultimately, though, we're just kind of nibbling around the edges. There's when you look at what is the highest rate of passing compared to the lowest rate of passing, it's not a massive gap. There's no team that's going to pass it 90% of the time, or even 80%, or even 70% of the time. So, we're talking about what could amount to being if we took your what you're saying to an actual reasonable level, we're talking about maybe a 5% shift, which would be a pretty massive shift. And so the issue then being you're still running the ball a ton, and there's still going to be a question of who is going to run the ball and the reality that a better running back is going to help you tremendously as opposed to a bad running back. So we're still in that situation, but I think overall I would agree that we don't need to get crazy about the running back position. It's a passing league with a passing team that has a lot of really good assets on that side of the ball. We need a run game that is complementary, not necessarily a centerpiece. I mean, I would obviously take, as would anybody, some sort of a dominant run game, but we don't need to go crazy with it. So I do get that side of it. I would just, again, put in the sort of caveat that, there does still need to be a run game. There's always going to be a run game. It's just a matter of, I guess if things do go south, let's say we don't have Josh Jacobs, and let's say the Marshawn Lloyd thing doesn't work out due to injury or whatever the case may be, how much do we need to invest to fix that? Because presumably you'd have to have somebody. It's just a question of, do you make a trade? Do you go out in free agency? If you do go out in free agency, do you get a $7 million free agent? Do you get a $1 million free agent? What does that look like, I guess? But, obviously, as I'm sure you would agree, there does still need to be a run game, though.
Hey, Ryan. Beer Chief Eddie here.
Yo.
Probably really windy. I hope you can hear me.
Yep.
While you're at work. I had to call, though. Got a little time here to call. Josh Jacobs, come on, man. What a joke. What a freaking joke. Seriously. I have no respect for him after that. You don't put your hands on a woman, man. And he's gone now, dude, and now we're screwed. I mean, unless Marshawn Lloyd can be healthy and good.
You could not get a more diametrically opposed call from I don't care about running if we ever do it ever, and because we can't run, we're screwed. I don't think you could have got two more different calls.
Which we don't even know. And the free agent market for running backs not looking too good money-wise, I don't think. I don't know what we're going to do, man. It's terrible, man. Just when we were getting all excited about everything, something has to ruin it. Freaking stupid, man. Freaking stupid. I can't even believe that, honestly. And the Packers are going to cut him. I mean, they're not going to put up with this crap. They don't. Man. That's presentation. So, good riddance, Josh. Thanks for everything, man. What a joke, dude.
Yeah, I mean, the Packers won't put up with very much. There does need to be a investigation. I don't know exactly what that entails. I'm not sure how the Packers handle that kind of stuff in terms of what does burden of proof look like in this context. This isn't a court of law. It's something different. But I don't know exactly what that looks like. But you also do need to be fair to Josh, as well as your team. You don't want to be reckless just on every allegation. So there has to be some kind of a process, and I guess I'm just not sure what that looks like. I will say I'm not supremely confident that all this is just going to go away and Josh Jacobs is going to be back, but done it either. So I guess we'll just kind of have to see how it goes. And as I've said, I of course hope there is no truth to these allegations because it would be horrible, but we'll see.
Yo, Ryan, it's your uncle, Rico.
Hello.
What's
there.
Happening?
What's up?
Been a rough day.
Sorry.
Had to go to the doctor because I thought I had a hernia.
Okay.
And I have a hernia. And when I got to I had to drive, 45 minutes to the doctor and a whole nother town.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I got there, I put gas in the car. I was driving my buddy's car. And then it went start. And then I had.
It's like listening to, well, never mind. I'm sure there's a point to this story.
Walk to the hospital. Had to walk back. Then my phone was going dead, so I had to walk to the Dollar General, buy a phone charger.
Wow.
And, and the doctor put his finger in my butt.
Oh, come on.
I didn't like that.
No.
Jeez, what the hell? Anyway, all that aside, so I had high blood pressure. That was before he put his finger in my butt, so I don't know what's going on.
Stop saying it. Oh, good. That did cut out. Thank you, Google Voice. You always know what to do.
Guys are jazzed up about Caleb Williams being the next freaking Dan Marino or whatever it is. Joe Montana.
Mm-hmm.
Aaron Rodgers. That's what it is. The next Aaron Rodgers. I'm not sure. Anyway, yeah, I guess it will be Aaron Rodgers that they're thinking he's going to be. Whoever it is they think he's going to be. I'm just kind of curious why he's the only quarterback in the league on the uptick. He's going to get better at he does this and he does that and he does this, but he's going to get better at this and he's going to get better at that. He's going to get better at all the things. And nobody else is getting better?
No.
He's going to be better than everybody else because everybody else is going to stay the same, but he's going to get better.
Right.
How does that work?
It's not that hard to understand. I mean, it's
I'm not
pretty
sure.
straightforward.
I just had somebody, in my so I'm a little confused, but I'm curious about that. All right, break go out.
Well, yeah, I don't know what's confusing about it. It's pretty straightforward. Caleb is a young quarterback, and so he's going to get better, and that's it. That's the whole thing. So he's going to surpass everybody, either this year or eventually, because he's going to just keep getting better as you do. If you're Caleb Williams, at least. And that's it. That's it. I don't know why you would think deeper about that subject. I think you sound stupid the more you try to dig. So stop that. That's it. I don't know why you're still here. That's the whole story. So there you go. Facts, bro.
Yo, Ryan, it's your
Oh,
Uncle
if you
Rico.
talk about it again, I'm going to kill you.
Did you catch that? I caught that. That made me laugh. You didn't say anything. Maybe you didn't catch it. When that purple FTW guy called Jacoby Brissett Jabroni Brisket. Jabroni Brisket. That's awesome. All right, then. Rico out.
Jabroni, I think, is his thing too, so it fits his brand. He always says jabroni. I'll give it to him. It's a good word. It is. All right, let's take a break. We'll come back. We got some more beer cheese Benny.
Hey Ryan, Beer Cheese Benny here. I just want to call and talk about Josh Jacobs thing. I want to say I think we all should wait until all evidence is gathered and not make any judgments. But if this is true, I have no respect for Josh Jacobs. Man.
Understood.
I don't know. Something seems really off about the whole situation. Like, he turned himself in, so it's like, okay. Like, he's either innocent or he's just doing that so it doesn't make him look as guilty or whatever, or it looks better. I don't know. Even like, I'm seeing all this stuff on Twitter about it. Like, there's a lot of things not adding up about it. But again, let's wait for all the facts to come out. But yeah, we're screwed if this is all true. But honestly, at the end of the day, I think Gutekunst is just going to be like, no, we're not going to deal with this. We don't need him being on our team with a scandal like that. So really screws us because I don't know what the potential of Marshawn Lloyd, or even if he can stay healthy. But I don't know, dude. Just freaking sucks. And when we're getting all excited about this team, the defense, and like, it seemed like everything was going good. Anyways, go Pack, go.
Well, I know it is kind of your disposition, Beer Cheese, but I wouldn't go and get too down on it. Let's just wait and see what happens. Much to Daniel from California's point, it's just a running back. It's certainly not. There are worse things, and I don't mean to completely disparage the position or the player because it does have some value, and he is a very good running back. But let's think about for a minute I don't want to sound too cheesy. Think about the positives, but legitimately, we still have Jordan and Tucker and Christian and Jaden and Golden and Micah, and you know what I mean? Like it's. I'm not going to boil down the sum total of our team to the running back. Any team whose season hinges on a running back is probably a dog crap football team, and I don't think that's us.
Hey, Pack Daddy, it's Garrett from Southern Illinois.
Yo.
Man, this is a difficult call to make. I guess I would first say that I think Sal probably articulated it best, that this whole Josh Jacobs incident is more or less a gut punch physically, spiritually, and mentally.
can't really say much more than that. So not worth delving into this until we know all the facts. So just kind of sucks.
Yeah.
So all in all, I guess turn the page. OTAs are here. Getting the chance to see some of these new faces that they've brought in. Hoping for encouraging news on the injury front, dealing with Tucker and Micah and Tom. So I guess we can just choose to look at the bright side of things right now. And we have a team. We have a coach. We have an opportunity to overcome once again. This time, this one's pretty big. And I can't help but wonder how dramatically this affects the culture in the locker room. And this affects the overall emotion of the team going forward. I'm out.
Yeah, that's a good point too. I did a call with a guy over at Our Lads. We do a pretty regular thing, but the conversation of Matt LaFleur came up, which I thought was weird because he's saying that there's talks again about him not being a good coach or whatever, and I just it's not really the point, but I was kind of surprised by that. But it did cause me to think in that moment about this situation. There's questions about his leadership ability. And it's in moments like this that you really hope those concerns are overblown, because this is going to be a moment where, your services are needed as a leader. You are going to be needed to do and say the right things in this moment as your team is going to be going through a rough patch here. You can't just assume, well, they're all professionals, they're going to be fine, it's not a big deal. I mean, this is tough. I mean, Josh Jacobs is a leader on this team. And, this is a tough one. So Matt's going to have to talk to the team. He's going to have to address the situation. How he handles it is going to have an impact, positive or negative. Could be neutral, I suppose, but these are the moments where you hope that you have the right kind of coach that can say and do the right things. It's also unfortunate because, obviously there's things beyond football, but just focusing on football here. You say, well, it's fortunately it's just this one thing and you can overcome this. That is true. And there's no question it's true. But it's also very unfortunate that, football hasn't even started and we've got a major blow to overcome. You can't assume health, and it's just constant obstacles. It's sort of like every day that goes by is the roll of the dice with a small percentage that somebody's going to be out for a long period of time, and we've already taken a hit. And we are very far away from any meaningful football that, is going to be where most of these types of injuries and things would come from. So it's just scary, I guess. It doesn't really have to be any kind of a real indication of anything bigger than it is. But, we had high expectations and hopes going into last year with Micah, and we just watched as those hopes got slowly over time, just continually diminished with just the worst possible luck, where everything that could go wrong did go wrong. And you come into this season, similar to Marshawn Lloyd, thinking, well, that was bad luck, it was fluky, and, hopefully we just don't have that level of bad luck again. And you get this kind of a massive blow, and it's like, oh boy. And then, shortly after that, you get the Marshawn Lloyd news, and it's like, this is not the way that I would like things to be going right now. But again, one does not have to be an indication of another thing or anything like that. So we'll just take it as it comes, and we don't know the outcome of the Josh Jacobs thing. We don't know the outcome of the Marshawn Lloyd thing. We don't know what's going to happen here. We'll just have to wait and see. So, Nico, what's going on?
Ryan, how the heck are you?
Well,
this is
pretty
Nico from Idaho.
Ho, ho, ho.
So it's like Thursday.
By the way, can I just say, and I've never thought that this would be a thing that I would say. Shout out to your potatoes, man. Seriously, like I know it's like the only thing that, at least from where I'm sitting, that Idaho is kind of known for. But been eating a good amount of potatoes recently, and I'm certainly not a potato connoisseur, but on a from a cost to deliciousness ratio, there is just nothing like an Idaho potato. And I don't know, but as best as I can tell, without really looking it up or whatever, an Idaho potato is just a better russet. But I was always a big fan of those the yellow, the yellow potatoes. Just throwing those bad boys in the microwave. They're just smoother, they got a smooth consistency and all that. They're nice compared to the russets, which are a little tougher and whatnot. But I started getting the Idahos, and then I was like, well, let me just get some russets or whatever. Basically, the cheapest ones you can get, the russets and the Idaho potatoes. And I got I had to muscle my way through those russet potatoes. They were nasty. I mean, they're fine, but it's just they smell and taste like dirt. It seems to me an Idaho potato is a russet potato that they clean first, maybe. Maybe that's all it is. But it's the same price. Maybe slightly more. We're talking fractions of a dollar here. But then you got to go up to like double the price if you want the yellow potatoes, the red potatoes, whatever. And I had the yellow. I'm going to be honest. When you're talking air fryer, like I've been doing it, I don't know that I like the yellows more. They're almost so soft that they kind of fall apart, and they're almost freaking juicy, which is weird. Like there's water, and it's so hot, the water is just boiling terribleness. So I don't know that I like it. So anyhow, the Idaho, your potatoes are fantastic. So I just wanted to let you know, after having eaten several different brands, I was like, you know what, I gotta tell Nico he's doing a great job out there. I'm assuming you're a potato farmer, being from Idaho. I'm pretty sure that's all you guys do out there.
Not a whole lot. I mean, OTAs started apparently, although the Josh Jacobs thing seems to be all anyone wants to talk about. I did hear they dropped the charges today, or the district attorney said there's not enough evidence or something like that. That's interesting. I'm trying to tiptoe, okay? I'm not trying to do an Uncle Rico. No offense, Uncle Rico. Please call and comment about this situation right now. But,
well, I'd rather you talk bluntly about this than about your medical situation.
Maybe the cop who went to the house was like a Bears fan, and the district attorney is like a Packer fan, The first thing I thought of, sadly, was when I saw that there was a clip that the neighbors had called. I thought, oh, you better ease up there, neighbors, because you're living in a fishbowl. There's only so many neighbors of Josh Jacobs, and I believe your voice was on TV. So you might get some nice letters. I know it's dumb to joke about that because, violence stuff. But because domestic violence is a bad thing. Yes, it's very bad.
Good job. You passed the test.
One time I saw this. This was before COVID, and it was a sign at a bar in Seattle. It said, "We like our beer like our violence, domestic." And I thought that was funny.
Yeah. You were doing good.
The bar
there.
got in trouble.
Yeah.
Don't know why. But yeah, domestic violence is bad. I get it. Unfortunately, we live in a world where this kind of stuff happens, and it's not domestic violence. It's some crazy lady smashing dishes and screaming that my husband or whatever beat me and nothing happened. I mean, I've seen that too. So I just hope that whatever happens, I mean, if you did something wrong, you got to pay the piper. But if you didn't do anything wrong, which is a scenario I am fortunate or I am hoping for, let's just get rid of all this junk and we'll start football season. And then it'll be just a footnote. Hey, remember there was that thing with Josh Jacobs that year before he won Super Bowl? Not really. Me neither. Bye. That's what it should be like.
Mm-hmm.
But anyways, so once again, after we go, feel free to call and comment on this topic. Don't do like me. Don't tiptoe like me. Go all out. All right.
Don't tell him that. Do not encourage that, please. I got enough. I don't even. Every time I think about it, much less say it, I feel actually sick to my stomach. So, just don't ever encourage Uncle Rico to just go all out. Oh, I just threw up in my mouth a little bit. We'll take a break because we got a bunch of Garrett coming up. We'll be right back.
Hey, Ryan, it's Garrett from Southern Illinois.
Yo.
Just calling to, I guess, follow suit with what Beer Cheese Benny did, and that was give a prediction for next season. And I recall last year I was very optimistic. This was even before we got Micah, thinking that, okay, this could be a year where they really peak. So I picked them to go 14-3. Well, they obviously didn't get close to that. So I'm just going to run it right back and say they're going to go 14-3 for the reason that they have another year of experience under their belt. I know that anything could change at any given moment, but looking at the schedule, I think it has potential to be a 14-3 year. I know that it could be something terribly different, but I choose to look at the glass half full. And with the beginning of the season, I feel like, we got to go into week 1 and play the Minnesota Midgets, but I think that's going to be a win. And we'll take some momentum from that and hope for the best. So I'll call back with a few more opinions on a couple more games during the schedule, but I'll do that later time.
Remember the days when people would call in and say things like Minnesota Midgets, and I would recoil in horror and say, you guys are going to get me in trouble. You can't say things like that. Oh, my goodness. Oh, those were the good old days, when that was as bad as she got.
Hey, Baghdadi, it's Garrett from Southern Illinois.
Yo.
I hope you're having a great weekend, and I just want to keep the streak alive by making a nomination for douche or jagoff of the week.
Okay.
And obviously, after listening to the last few podcasts, Manny Parkins is such a freaking douche.
Yes.
I'm glad that you expose these guys for who they are, for being shallow thinkers. So keep up the good work as far as exposing how these guys try to manipulate the topic and just undermine everything that is logical. And it just bothers me to no end that guys like that actually have a job, that get paid to just spew nonsense. So, again, Ryan, thank you for what you do, because you are the light at the top of the hill. I'm out.
Well, it's definitely not a job that, requires a lot of intelligence in and of itself. These guys make it so easy because, at the end of the day, as far as the incentive structures go, they don't really care so much about, being super smart about stuff. So, it's not so much a me thing. I'm just the one with the microphone yelling about it. I think what's people like about it so much isn't the, man, this guy's a genius. It's more just cathartic. You know, I scream into the microphone for you so that you don't have to. You don't have to buy a microphone. Just let me do it. I'll say what you wanted to say, and and you can just listen. So, I think it's a great relationship all the way around. They get a career and get to make money by doing that. And to be fair, it's relatively easy doing what they do. It's easy doing what I do too, because it's, again, not very hard to point out how dumb what they're saying is. But they get to do that. They get to have successful careers, and they get to be on TV, and they get to do all the things that I'm sure they've wanted to do since they were little kids, and everything's great. I get to do what I do and have this podcast and people listen and all that. More importantly, the cathartic nature of doing that feels so good. And then you guys get to enjoy in that as well. The catharsis of it, if that's a word. I don't know if that's a word or not, but you get the idea. The point is, it's a nice little ecosystem we got here.
Hey, Ryan, I wanted to ask if you don't mind to possibly consider doing a podcast similar to the one you did, it was just maybe a week and a half ago, when it came to the schedule and asking AI to predict what would be the Packers' outcome for the season, win-loss.
Mm-hmm.
And I was wondering if you could use that same platform to predict. Hold on.
Okay.
To predict what the Vikings' outcome would be. Hold on one second.
Sure, yeah. Whatever you need. Worry about us. We're just hanging out here. We're at your beck and call, Garrett.
That's all yep, that's it. You're welcome.
Are you checking out at the grocery store? Is that what
Sorry, Ryan, I had to deliver a package to a customer.
Understood.
Anyways, if you could do a prediction for both the Vikings, also known as the Midgets,
mm-hmm.
The Lions and the Bears,
yeah,
and just let it predict all of their outcomes and kind of group it into one podcast as far as so that we have a measuring stick, so to speak, to what the Packers' outcome was. I'm just kind of curious what it thinks the other teams will do. So just something to do. I don't know.
Yeah, it's not a terrible idea to kind of role play out. Again, I kind of did somewhat of a role play thing with, the different plays and all the different stuff just to kind of make it fun. It would be kind of fun to have. And what I'd like to do, if possible, is, and maybe you just use like incognito mode or something. I'm not sure exactly what. But to use not my account so that there's no memory because, AIs are so people-pleasing. And, I don't want it to be like, oh, the Packers are going to win the Super Bowl and all that crap. No, be honest. Honestly, what do you think? And just kind of do a week-by-week NFC North breakdown, I think could be interesting. We'll see. I mean, we have the deadest of dead periods coming up. I'm sure there will be a day where that could work out.
Hey, Ryan, it's Garrett from Southern Illinois.
Hello.
Just wanted to give my 2 cents on this whole running back scenario. And, it's going to be really tough to be patient and wait for all of this to develop and really, I guess, help determine where they're going forward with the running back room. And you had just discussed it a little bit on the latest episode. And I guess, other than free agents, Ryan, I guess the first thing that came to mind for me was that Green Bay likes to pick guys off other teams that are already actually playing or practicing, practice squads, etc. And I guess the team that immediately come to mind for me, and it actually has for a lot of people, was the Arizona Cardinals. and the obvious thing is because they picked Jeremiah Love in the draft so high that
Sure.
you know that he's going to see a lot of reps. And that group was already pretty, in my opinion, not a bad group. I mean, they had signed Algiers from Atlanta Falcons. They had Trey Benson. They had Connor, who is a little bit older, but has proven to be a pretty productive running back.
Yeah.
So given that they have such a deep group, I can't help but wonder if that'll be the team they maybe look towards making a deal to get either Connor or Algier, depending on, again, how the OTAs develop and training camp. The whole wild card is going to be Lloyd, obviously. I'm just moving forward as if we're not going to have Jacobs and just kind of wrap my brain around how the team is going to play without him. So I'm hoping for the best developments, but I'm also preparing for the worst. So this scenario seems to me like we can't rely on Lloyd. We can hope and pray that he stays healthy. But if he misses any practice time at all, we're immediately going to be, praying that the sky's falling because the gist of his history. Now, are they just sitting him or is he actually hurt? We don't know. But all in all, he does not have a good track record.
Last one here for Garrett, part 2-ish.
3-minute monster. All right, so to wrap things up, I just think worst case scenario, break glass in case of emergency. I think that they will have no choice but to either, like you had said, go into free agency or possibly make a trade because we cannot go forward with this team as it is. The running back room does not look legit at all right now. So I could be proven wrong and these guys could ball out, but right now it does not. I do not have a lot of confidence. Let's just say that. So on a different topic real quick, when it comes to Sal, man, you know me, I'm first one in line to say I love the episodes. But can we put a moratorium on Sal using analogies and generators? I think he has found a way to use that platform or that item in more analogies than I could ever imagine. And it would be refreshing to hear him talk about something else other than generators and storms and
ice.
How his brand new generator didn't start. So everything else, stupendous. But he needs some new analogies, and he has come up with some really good ones, and I will give him that. But the generator one, I think, has run out of gas. So I'm out.
That was clever. Yeah, it's hard to come up with new analogies every day. I mean, I already kind of pulled him off of a bunch of other stuff that was getting repetitive as far as talking about his family, talking about Tomek, talking about all that stuff. And so we went in a different direction. And yeah, I mean, it's, I wasn't thinking about that generators. I was thinking about that in terms of like ice in March or whatever, which is getting to be repetitive. But, it's a daily thing, and he's doing analogies, which he doesn't have to do analogies, but for the sake of doing them, especially being, small town guy from Peshtigo and whatnot, it is a little bit on brand, if you think about if a guy from a small town was doing analogies, it would make sense that it would be something that's kind of repetitive and as far as like, these are the 5 things I know kind of thing, but I get your point. As for the running back situation, again, I guess I won't say that I'm not going to talk about it because I already have. as far as potential free agents and whatnot. But I don't want to get too far down that road until we kind of get a little bit more clarity on it. I have my suspicions on what direction it's going to go, but it's, I don't know. There's so much up in the air right now. We might have Jacobs and Marshawn Lloyd. We might not have either of them. And one of them would be ridiculous that we even talked about this. The other is more of a what in the heck are we waiting for kind of a thing. So I don't know. I think there's options. I think there's some decent trade options for sure. I don't know that we even need to do that considering, you'd have to find somebody significant. Well, I don't know. I'd want to see these options laid out in front of me, I guess, before I make any broad claims like that. But I'm assuming that when you look at the gap between what's available in free agency and what you can get in a trade, the amount that you're giving up is not worth the gap, if that makes sense. So, anywho, more tweaks are coming. I'm in the process of building, not really tweaking right now. Some of the stuff with Brick and Tundra and what he's doing it's not what I want it to be, but I'm not interested in going back and refining that right now. I'm working on a bunch of other stuff, but that is on the docket. Brick first. I made a change with him and I over calibrated that. Not that it really matters. The point of that show is the music, obviously, but it's to the point that it's enough that it still bothers me. So I'll work on that. I'll work on Sal, and I'm still building out some other stuff, which is more behind the scenes, not really having to do with anything that you would ever touch. More of a me thing to help me kind of do what I'm doing. But we'll get there. We will, in fact, get there. Keep the recommendations coming, by the way. I obviously want that to be as enjoyable as possible when listening. And if there's anything that is so much of a turnoff that it's like, I don't think I can listen anymore, then I definitely want to know about it so we can fix it. Let's do TJ. We'll do TJ and then we'll call it. TJ from Alabama.
Hey, Ryan, TJ from Alabama, just listening. I could only get like 30 seconds into the discussion on the NIL and we only want the good money, the whatever money, the legitimate money, not the illegitimate money going to the players. And the way we're going to solve that, the way we're going to reduce corruption is to add a government layer of oversight to what money's good and bad and where it goes. Let me think. There's no way that could go bad. There's no way that could turn into corruption. Yeah, let's take our insider trading and all the other crap that goes on, and let's put them in. Why don't we put them in charge? Oh my goodness, Ryan! You don't get me started. Go back home.
I wouldn't. Yeah, I understand that they're looking at it and saying something's broken here. We need to do something. My trust level. I wasn't even going to the point of suspicions of corrupt people getting involved and all the potential bad there, which certainly exists. That's another layer of potential problems that, are concerning. I was more just looking at the fact that they're, I don't even want to necessarily say incompetent. It's just, you're trying to, the government doesn't know how to fix things delicately. They only move mountains when they move things. And, when you do that, there's a big aftershock that happens. And a lot of times, maybe it'll fix the problem. I don't know. I'm not saying it won't. I'm just saying that, I know for a fact that we'd have no idea what all the ramifications are going to be, and there's a good chance that all we're going to do is create more problems than actually fix the problems that we have created by kind of opening the floodgates on this thing. So, I don't know, man. I guess we just all sit back and see how she goes. I mean, it's such a big topic to begin with. I don't want to even pretend that I'm speaking intelligibly on it because I don't pay super close attention to college football. In other words, I didn't really fully understand the structure before. I certainly don't understand the structure after. And then trying to understand the structure that they're proposing, I don't think anybody is really an expert on all three things at this point. So I'm kind of in the this is interesting. We'll talk about it, but mostly we're just going to have to let the dust settle and see where this ends up and all the ramifications therein. Anywho, we got about 9 calls left, which is about the what I've always said is the sort of cutoff. So we'll definitely have one for tomorrow, but definitely get your calls in so that we can keep this show rocking. I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.